So, The Last of Us isn't a game about zombies or an apocalypse. I mean, sure, that's a big part of it, but it's actually quite the opposite. The Last of Us is about humans and what it means to be one, and there just so happens to be zombies in it. It's about connecting with people, loving each other, making sacrifices, and most importantly, making mistakes. In a world where it seems like all hope is lost, what happens if you give someone a reason to live and fight? And are you willing to sacrifice everything to keep that reason? Well, The Last of Us answers that same question. So throughout the game, you play as Joel Miller, a rough and grizzled middle-aged man from Texas, who also has a daughter named Sarah, who we're introduced to before the outbreak. We see Sarah sleeping on the couch before our main man Joel comes in. It's Joel's birthday, so Sarah got him a nice watch. But that looks expensive, Sarah. How'd you afford that?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, great. So Sarah passes out, and Joel, being the great dad he is, brings her to bed. But our sleep is interrupted when Sarah's uncle, aka Joel's brother, Tommy, calls. And he sounds scared to death, begging to speak to Joel before he cuts out. Pretty scary, but it can't be anything that horrible, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. We look at the TV and see an explosion happening on the news, but that same explosion is also right outside our window. Now, I'm ripping this line straight from Bisley, go-to YouTuber, by the way. But seeing the tragedy that the news is talking about right outside your own window really makes the stakes feel higher, because it's not just something that's happening on a TV. It's right in front of us, which is terrifying. So things clearly are not right. And we go to look for Papa Joel because, well, we're a scared little kid, and eventually find him freaking out looking for something. He sounds shaken up, and before we can figure out what's going on, someone just smashes through the sliding door, almost like a rabid animal. Joel gives him a warning, but realizes it won't be enough and shoots the man. We leave the house and see Tommy parked out front, ready to get the hell out of here, so naturally, we waste no time. When driving on the road, we can already tell so much about what's going on around us without having to have things explained to us. We see tons of cars and traffic as people are trying to escape and leave. People and families are on the side of roads trying to get anyone to help them. And with Joel only having the safety of his daughter on his mind, he tells Tommy to ignore them and keep driving. It shows how Joel always did what was smartest and best for himself and the people he cares about, which makes it easier to believe that he becomes the man we see later in this game. But seeing these people begging for help just adds so much to the situation. And the game could theoretically just tell us how bad things are right now, but they don't. They also show us. Hell, even in Joel's house, you can find a newspaper talking about how a bunch of people are being admitted to the hospital and how a woman went crazy and killed her husband along with 3 others. The world building is phenomenal. And regarding the physical aspects of the world, I have to give some credit to all of the environmental designers on both part 1 and the original game / remaster, especially environmental artist Edgar Martinez. Now, he worked with Naughty Dog for part 1 and was one of the people responsible for how beautiful this game's world looks. Everywhere you look, there's a story to uncover, but more on that later, because right now, things aren't looking too great for our characters, because a car slams right into us, leaving Sarah extremely injured. So Joel is carrying Sarah, running through the town as all hell is breaking loose. And gas stations are blowing up and people are dying left and right. People with families and friends. People who are just trying to escape and survive. They're all just dying. But Joel's concerned about his family, and that's all. So we run like our life depends on it. Well, technically it does anyway, but you know what I mean. And right before our dying light speedrun can get cut short, Tommy saves us again. We end up running through a building, and the GOAT Tommy blocks the door for us to give Joel and Sarah a bit of time to just get away and escape. And right before we can get attacked again, a soldier saves us. Thank God we have some help. Oh no. The soldier wastes no time in letting off shots, and Joel tries his best to shield Sarah. And before the soldier can finish the job, Tommy saves us again. Dang, that's like 3 for 3 right now. But unfortunately, Tommy can't save everyone.
Sarah? Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah? Baby? Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, 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 no. Please.
Man, Troy Baker and Hannah Hayes. I mean, what more do I have to say? This scene is nothing short of incredible. Their performances make this one of the best introductions in a video game ever. Pleasure of experiencing. Now, in this interview with Troy Baker, he talks a lot about how hard it was as an actor to really get into that mindset that's necessary to record a scene like this. And how at one point he was getting frustrated with how many times Neil Druckmann, the game's director, made them redo the scene. They tried over and over until they got the scene that will go down in history as one of the greatest. So we jump 20 years in the future. Joel is a middle-aged man just trying his hardest every day to survive. The entire world has collapsed. A fungus called the cordyceps is what made people sick and turned into the infected that we saw at the beginning of the game. And there is no cure right now, which will be very important later. Living in an apocalypse is not easy, but Joel is trying his best. Well, him and his friend Tess, I should say. Now, the game doesn't explicitly tell you what Joel and Tess's relationship is because they trust the player to be smart enough to at least piece together some things. Joel and Tess start looking for a guy named Robert who sent dudes to just go beat up Tess. I mean, probably try to kill her, honestly. Even though they were planning to kill him first. Yeah, there's some weird drama going on. But also, I should add that Joel and Tess are also smugglers, meaning, well, they smuggle stuff. So yeah, figuring out what they do to survive really shows us what type of world it's become. A world where people just kill so easily left and right. A world where people steal and rob to get by. A world where nearly everyone has experienced some type of loss. And a world that's evil and cruel. So we walk through the town a little bit and you can see some pretty crazy things. There's wanted posters up of different people, including this random woman named Marlene, who's the leader of the Fireflies. But more on her a little bit later. The Fireflies are basically a rebel militia group who are trying to be good guys and also find a cure for the infection. That's honestly the best way I could describe them because we never really get a concrete definition on what or who they are, but we'll meet them and Marlene soon enough, trust me. There's also just a whole lot more to see if you really care enough to stop and look around. Right here in the QZ, we can see people being taken out of their homes, getting lined up and tested to see if they're infected. Hell, one guy even tries to escape, but clearly doesn't make it very far. We try to leave, but the Fireflies attack the QZ, so we have to take a little detour. It's also when walking that we figure out Tess is low-key a big name in these streets. Like, she has some clout on her. A lot of people know her somehow, and she gets some pretty good info as well. We end up facing off against Robert's men, the same guy who tried to kill Tess, and it's here we get our combat tutorial. Now, The Last of Us has some pretty standard combat, standard melee attacks with, the occasional melee weapon to find, and also guns to shoot. Yeah, that's about it. Well, it's pretty satisfying to hit headshots in the game, though. Also, there's a stealth mechanic, which I'm sure is very important on the higher difficulties. But I only played the game on hard for like the first half of the playthrough, so I'm clearly not an expert on it. It's also nothing groundbreaking, and I can't blame anyone if they called it slightly repetitive at times. But that just depends on the person, The Last of Us Part 2 has some really good combat, but bro, that's a can of worms I'm not ready to open up yet. So we have a friendly talk with Robert's men and eventually get to where he's hiding out. And finally meet the man himself, who's also a coward and starts running, so not surprised. We catch up to him and Joel gives him just a little love tap, and he tells us what we want to know. Now, Joel is clearly pretty seasoned when it comes to dealing with things like this. I mean, later in the game, we see him do some pretty insane things, but just clues us in a bit on how he survived the past 20 years as well. But don't let that fool you into thinking the apocalypse turned him into the man he is. I mean, sure, he wasn't just breaking bones and killing people before the outbreak, but Joel still had some of that ruthlessness in him. We see that clearly when Tommy was driving and about to stop for the people on the side of the road, but Joel tells him to just keep driving. The apocalypse simply just brought out who he didn't really want to or have to be. So anyways, Robert checks out of the game after telling us that he sold our weapons to the same group known as the Fireflies. Oh no, what will we ever do? Where are we gonna possibly find a Firefly? Oh, cool. So yeah, Marlene's here. The same woman we saw on the wanted posters, aka the leader of the Fireflies, just shows up around the corner lurking. So she says she'll give us our guns back and more if we help her smuggle something out of the city. Seems easy enough. That is until we find out we're smuggling a little girl and her name is Ellie. We don't really know why we're smuggling her, but like Joel said, we don't really care. All we know is that Marlene is sort of close with Ellie and also knew Ellie's mom. And it's here we figure out that Marlene knew Tommy, and that Tommy was also a member of the Fireflies at one point, but he later left them. We wait at a little safe house until Tess gets back from checking the weapons and all that, and then we head out. It's raining pretty hard, and before we can even admire the view, we get stopped by some soldiers. They check to see if we're infected, so naturally things should be fine. Oh, okay, I guess not. Joel takes out one soldier, Tess gets the other, and while the threat appears to be gone, it was actually next to us the entire time.
Holy shit. Look.
Tess looks at the scanner and realizes that Ellie was infected, but it's a little complicated. Ellie was bitten, yeah, but it was 3 weeks ago, and everyone knows that you turned in 2 days. So did Marlene really set us up? Or is this girl really immune to the infection? We have no time to figure that out because there's more soldiers on the trail, so it's time to dip out. We're navigating through the city, barely hiding from the soldiers, going to sewers, muddy terrain, and through destroyed buildings. The environmental designers really did something spectacular here with this game. Like I said before, every building, house, or corner you turn tells a story. Now, Bisley, again, the GOAT, himself said it best here. These buildings aren't the way they are because of the infected and the outbreak. It's actually the result of the government trying to bomb the city to stop the spread of the infection. But clearly it did not work. We go through the ruined building some more, hide from those terrifying versions of infected that are called clickers because they make a clicking sound, I guess. And they're also blind but have incredible hearing. So if you're crouched in front of it, then they won't see you. But best believe if you walk around or run even 30 feet away from it, it'll hear you. The sound design in this game is also phenomenal too. I wish I was more educated on things like sound design or even lighting in video games because some games like this just excel at it. I was never really one to pay attention to things like that, unfortunately. I think I should take the time to appreciate it a bit more because it really is something special. So before we leave the building, we save Tess and Ellie real quick. Man, Tess, that looked close. Thank God you're okay. That'd have been horrible if you got killed or bitten here. So we make it up to the roof and have one of the most iconic and beautiful views in this game. We also see the same Capitol building where we have to bring Ellie to. We can't admire the view for long though because Tess reminds us to stay focused and that we're almost done. We end up at the Capitol building and all the fireflies are dead. Tess is looking for something, anything that may help us find where the rest of them are, but Joel tells her it's over and they're leaving. Not knowing Tess isn't going with him.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel,
Let me see it.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go. To me, so you get her to Tommy's.
She tells us to just go and we have to leave Tess as she fights off the soldiers, willing to die before she turns into one of them, as she puts it. We make our way through the Capitol building, and it's actually a fair amount of enemies in here, honestly. But we go underground as well, and we see Ellie breathing in spores, which would kill any normal human. So, yeah, she's definitely immune. We come back up to the surface, and Joel gives Ellie a couple rules to follow. Never bring up Tess. Don't tell anyone about her immunity. And whatever Joel says goes. Now that that's handled, the next stop is to a friend of Joel's named Bill. So the reason we have to go to Bill is because he's probably the only person we know who can get us a working car. And we need the car to go find Tommy, Joel's brother, because he used to be a Firefly and could probably get in touch with them since, that's what we have to bring Ellie to. Now, under any other circumstances, I'm sure Joel would just turn around and go home. But this was literally Tess's final wish, so he has to see it through. So we get to Lincoln, which is Bill's town, and he has it rigged with all sorts of booby traps and cool things like that. He's extremely cautious, to say the least. But hey, in a world like this, I cannot blame him. We first meet Bill and have a pretty funny interaction with him, Joel, and Ellie. And he even handcuffs Ellie, which actually fried me. Like, he handcuffed a little kid. But again, in this world, you generally never know. But we explain everything and mention that we need a car, which Bill has, but it has no battery. So we head over to a school to find one. We finally get inside after barely escaping with our lives, and Bill opens up the car to see no battery. So that was all for nothing. But there's no time to be angry because those infected are looking hungry so we gotta go. Bill's plan is for us to sneak out the back of the school, and we end up in a random house, and while Joel and Bill are arguing, Bill notices something.
Jesus. What, you know this guy or something?
Frank.
Who the hell's Frank?
He was my partner. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that. He's got bites. Here. And
I reckon he didn't want to turn, so he...
yeah, I guess not.
So Frank is more than likely Bill's lover. I love how Naughty Dog doesn't just outright tell us these things. Same with Joel and Tess's relationship. We never get confirmation on what they are. But just through subtle acts and lines of dialogue, we can piece it together. Now, the HBO show also had a whole episode on Bill and Frank's relationship, where Nick Offerman absolutely cooked in that role, but played a slightly different Bill. He was less jaded and cynical than he is in the game, and they made it work very well in my opinion. But clearly in the game, the story is a bit different. It seems like Bill and Frank fought and then went their separate ways, and Frank was actually the one who took the car battery from the school, because he was trying to get away. But unfortunately, he did not make it. He got infected and decided it would be better to go out on his own terms, just like someone else. So the same car Frank plans to take is what we're going to use to leave as well. So we push it to get it started and hop on in. We did have to weave around some infected, but all in all, it was easy enough. So we drop off Bill and get our little goodbye out the way. This is actually the last time you see Bill, which is kind of sad. He was pretty funny. He was a dickhead sometimes, but still pretty funny. So Joel and Ellie start making their way to Tommy, who is currently in a place called Jackson, which is like a little town. This whole scene with the two of them in the car is one of my favorites, and honestly, one of the best in the game. Joel's softening up on Ellie just a little bit. Ellie is clearly really comfortable around Joel. She's talking about the comic book she stole from Bill, along with the other things.
How the hell would he even walk around with that thing?
Get rid of that.
But we do run into a little problem, though. The road ahead is blocked, meaning that we're going to have to take a bit of a detour. So we're driving until all of a sudden we see an injured man, and surely Joel helps him, right? Oh, or not. This scene really shows a lot about who Joel is and exactly what he had to do to survive. This is another conversation Joel has with Ellie about how he knew the guy was faking the injury, saying that he's been on both sides before. Now, we didn't need to hear a whole story about how it occurred or anything, but just that one line, it tells us more than enough. But before we can get there, we have to deal with the current situation. We take out all the guys here and then head on our way. Eventually, though, as we're making our way up a ladder, we get absolutely decked in the face. Joel's here fighting for his life, trying to reach his gun until a hand grabs it and shoots the guy attacking us. And of course, it's our goat, Ellie. She saves our life, but for some reason, Joel is upset about it. He tells Ellie that she could have got him killed, and Ellie is pissed, rightfully so, because Joel is just extremely ungrateful right now. So we get to an area with a couple enemies on the ground below us, and Joel finds a sniper. And in classic dad fashion, he apologizes without saying sorry. He lets Ellie do the sniping, and I'm really proud of our girl. So we climb through a window and get attacked by some random dude. Man, Joel is not having easy today, huh? Joel starts to make quick work of him because he's that guy, until a kid aims a gun at Joel. Everything gets resolved and dies down, though. We figure out that the names are Henry and Sam, and Henry, the older one, is just trying to keep his little brother safe in this evil world. The four of them propose that it'd be smarter to just stick together and look for supplies. Well, three of them, I should say, because Joel is clearly not on board. And Henry mentions that they have a hideout not too far from here, so that's where our destination is. And the motto of Savage Starlight is endure and survive. And trust me, there will be a lot of enduring. So much random and unfortunate BS just happens in this game and this world. In literally a matter of minutes, you could lose someone close to you. Look what happened with Tess, for example. It'd be easy to just roll over and give up, but that's not what life is about. You have to stay strong and find something to live and fight for. After almost getting spotted by some truck of doom, we see Sam picking up a toy until Henry reminds him that they only take what they need, which helps to set up exactly what type of person Henry is. Henry cares about keeping Sam safe and alive, and he takes survival very seriously, not letting Sam take the toy even though his backpack is nearly empty. The only thing he's living for right now is keeping Sam alive, and trust me, we'll see more of that later. It's really nice to have other people to talk to and interact with as well. I mean, I know we just had a section with Bill, but he's not the best company. So being able to see and hear things like Sam and Ellie interacting and just talking or having fun is really sweet. So we reach a hideout and Henry shows us a map of where their next stop is because, funnily enough, they're looking for the Fireflies too. Man, I really can't wait for them to make that cure and then we have a nice, happy ending. We're making our way through the city and eventually help Henry and Sam up on a truck. But before Joel can climb up, the gate starts getting breached. So Henry and Sam leave Joel to fight or run from all the soldiers who will kill us on sight. Ellie, being the goat that she is, drops back down and sticks with us till the end. We reach a bridge, but all isn't well because a huge truck with a terror tries to just cut our life and day short. It gave me Uncharted 4 flashbacks, and those are not fun days. Ellie and Joel realize that there's no time to think and just jump. We hit a rock and wake up on the shore and see our #1 op. So you know Joel is not going to let what just happened slide.
You guys are taking quite a bit of water.
What's wrong?
Henry!
Get back,
hey,
son!
hey. He's pissed, but he's not gonna do anything.
You sure about that?
Stop!
Joel?
He left us to die out there.
No, you had a good chance of making it, and you did. But coming back for you meant putting him at risk. Stay back. If it was the other way around, would you have come back for us? I saved you.
Now, apparently, Henry and Sam actually did save us because, well, we were going to drown since Ellie can't swim and Joel was knocked out. So now with all the threats to our life gone, we make our way to the radio tower since everything is resolved. So we go through some sewers and I don't know about you guys, but this area creeped me out hella. It's darker than usual, it's super ominous, and yeah, it just has that creepy atmosphere, you know? And to make it even creepier and more tragic, you can find notes left behind. No, not that left behind. By a man named Ish, who was taking shelter and staying in these sewers, saying how it's easier to defend them because of how little entrances it has and exits. There's so much more to find out about him and his time here, which ends tragically, and I wish I looked around more to find out. But I didn't. But I'd be so down to make a whole video about the different lore and stories you can find in this game. So while I'm progressing through the sewers, the four of us get separated, and in a funny turn of events, Sam is stuck with us, and Ellie is trapped with Henry. Now, there's no time to even discuss what happened or anything because clickers are all around us, so we gotta move. This section also shows us how much Joel has softened up to Ellie because so far, he's a lot less nice when it comes to talking to Sam, ordering him around and being, you know, just a little bit meaner than usual. Now, eventually, everyone is regrouped and we hit a pretty narrow escape. And also, we get a pretty funny but extremely late warning.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Thanks for the warning on the other side, guys.
But Ellie is genuinely such a treat to have around all the time, honestly. She might be one of my favorite video game companions, if not my favorite. She actually made me laugh during my playthrough, and the little optional conversations you can have with her are really nice and helps remind you that this is a kid who grew up in a completely different world. I mean, hell, she didn't even know what an ice cream truck was. She even know if it was real, like seriously. The Last of Us is a dang near perfect game, and you may not come here for the gameplay and the simple combat, but you'll definitely stay for the characters. If you haven't played this game and you're watching this video, please go play it. I promise it's not overrated, just give it a chance. So we're moving through this town when out of nowhere a sniper tries to hit a clip on us. Ellie, Sam, and Henry stay back while we rush up and try to get the flank on him. After we take out the sniper, we become the sniper, defending Ellie, Sam, Henry from other little bandits or whoever's trying to kill us. Joe realizes he's not built for that sniper life and that the infected are way too close, so we dip out, with the radio tower being closer than ever. We camp out and get to hear about Henry's obsession with Harleys and how he would kill just to ride one of them for even a minute. Seeing Joel have someone to talk to and connect just a little bit with besides Ellie is really great to see. He has someone to at least talk to who isn't 14 years old and who is also, you know, smart enough to make great survival decisions. And also having Henry here means having Sam here as well. So Ellie has someone to talk and connect with. In the next room, Ellie notices Sam is a little bit down and tries to get him to open up a bit. He says he's fine, and before Ellie can walk off, he asks her how is she never scared. This one line also shows how Henry has been raising Sam clearly. He's more than likely been keeping Sam super sheltered, so he's not as fearless or confident and savvy when it comes to surviving as Ellie is. I know Ellie is about a year or two older and was raised completely different, but she's clearly all of those things I just described. I think if you put Sam in Ellie's shoes in the winter section of the game, for example, he wouldn't survive or do nearly as well as Ellie did. Ellie does open up and admits that she is scared. She's scared of being alone. Scared of ending up by herself with no one left by her side. Sam says he's scared of turning into an infected and of being trapped inside his body with no control at all. To help cheer him up, Ellie brings Sam the same toy that Henry didn't let him take, and then they go to bed. It's morning, and when everyone wakes up, we see Sam acting a little strange. He attacks Ellie, and when Joel realizes he's infected, he tries to put a stop to it. But before he can, Henry shoots the gun out of his hand. At this point, though, Joel doesn't care if he dies, and he tries to stop Sam, but Henry beats him to it.
Shit!
Ellie? Ellie, are you all right?
Oh my god.
Sam?
Oh no.
Sam?
Henry? Ellie, stay there. Henry?
What have you done?
I'm gonna get that gun from me, okay? Oh, okay, easy.
It's your fault.
This is nobody's fault, Henry.
It's all your fault.
Henry! Henry, no!